I had no business experience. I hadn't worked since I was 25. I didn't know what I was doing, but all I ever did was the next right thing. It just happened, and we never ever had the conversation about a business. It just happened. Not a lot of people know this, but I was suicidal.
Oh.
I really thought about it. And I walked into the kitchen, and Darcy had got a lift back from the stable, and she shouldn't have been there. She looked at me, I looked at her. We did not exchange a word.
Welcome to this episode of The Hair Edit with myself, Victoria Lynch.
And me, Ateh Jewel.
And today we have in our chair Maxine Laceby, self-made entrepreneur, founder of Absolute Collagen.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Woo, woo, woo! This is going to be a great conversation today, Maxine, I can assure you. But first of all, I want to jump straight in with the first question. So Maxine, you have built Absolute Collagen to a revenue of 30 million from founding it in 2017. Would you like to tell us a little bit about that journey?
Wow, it's been a crazy journey and one I could never have imagined. Discovering the collagen in my kitchen, that was a journey in itself. And then kind of to where it is now. I think when you're living the journey, you don't see it yourself. So my journey started with a fine art degree and me doing a project where I stripped myself bare of makeup and let my hair go grey.
Can we just say how old you are? Because this wasn't like a young corporate thing. You were
Absolutely
in
not.
midlife,
Yeah.
starting again,
Yeah.
which makes it even more impressive. How old were you?
So I was 49. So 11 years ago, my eldest daughter, Darcy's going off to uni. My youngest daughter had just learnt to drive and was driving herself to school. And I was in bed with a coffee celebrating not doing the school run, thinking, oh, thank God, what shall I do? And I decided to do a fine art degree. And then did this project called Dare to Go Bare. And I used to have long, dark, curly hair. You've seen the photograph.
Yes.
And I just went, do you know what? I'm done. Absolutely done. And the whole project was, as a woman of a certain age, if I remove every external mask, so hair dye, hair, had it cut short, had the colour taken out, I removed all my makeup and wore really, really dowdy clothes for 4 months. If I did that, would I disappear in people's vision? Well, it made me realise I'd already disappeared in my own vision. Because as mothers, as women, we wake up every day and we go, who does everybody need me to be today? But I no longer had to do that because my children had grown up. And so that 4 months was both terrifying and exhilarating at the same time.
Were you reborn? It feels like a kind of,
Yeah, I
because
think
that sounds like a
so.
nightmare to so many people to
Yeah.
be so stripped bare,
Mm.
none of the armor that we're used to.
Mhm.
Was it a type of rebirth for you?
Do you know, I'd just gone through divorce and I was just done with it all. I used to have my hair dyed every 4 to 6 weeks. And I was like, do you know what? I'm just done. I'm done with it all. I'm done with... And I don't know if... I think we've only got our own point of view, our own perspective. So I'm adopted and I don't know if I've always felt like the owl in the nest. And I always felt like I wasn't being me. And I don't know if that's because I was a mother. I don't know. We've only got our own point of reference. And I just thought, I'm done. I don't know what's going to come of this. And
Was that because you actually then had some time to think about yourself, where you'd focused all your time on
yeah,
the children
100%.
and you were a little bit lost?
Yeah, I was absolutely lost. And like, that's why I thought, right, what shall I do? And I don't know if it was a rebirth. It was just a moment in time where I just drew a line in the sand and thought, right, this is my time. What am I going to do?
But how did you go from doing an art degree into then producing the first ever collagen sachet? Like, how did that happen?
Okay, that is crazy. So I am very solution focused and I can walk through an empty room and get inspired by something. And my brain is always, I'm opportunist. I'm always figuring things out and seeing if someone says that's impossible, I'll go, no, it can't be impossible. I'll make it be like, there's got to be a way. And so during this kind of 4 months, I used to really weirdly, now I've created a wellness brand. I'd sit on the edge of my bed every morning and I put this make-believe onesie on. That onesie was Maxine. And I thought, right, I just want to be Maxine. I don't know what I'm going to find. And I looked at myself as a whole during that time because I felt pretty shit, to be honest with you. You know, I had no makeup. I was also wearing like big oversized t-shirts and leggings. I looked like a bag lady. I didn't want to go shopping for food. It was that bad. I mean, that's really bad. And this is way before lockdown, you got to remember.
Yeah.
You know, we've all relaxed a bit. And I started looking at myself as a whole. And one of the first things I did, I knew I did not want to go back to putting all those external masks on when I choose to, but I was doing them when I didn't want to as well. It was like I felt uncomfortable if I didn't have them on. And I started looking at myself as a whole. And the first thing I did was I looked at what I was putting in my body. And I started making and drinking bone broth. And then I literally was making massive vats of it. And Darcy, my daughter, my eldest daughter, was studying food science, supplements of food. And I said, and my friends started saying, you started off looking a bit rough, but actually you got a bit of a glow. I'm like, I reckon it's this bone broth stuff, you know.
That's a good friend, isn't
What's
it?
your magic
Yeah.
recipe?
Yeah.
It's that secret recipe, isn't it,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
And when your friends notice,
Yeah, then
If-
you're doing
yeah.
something right.
when your
for
skin
sure.
looks good or your hair's changed, when a close friend says something, you know it's
There
good.
was a
right?
few of them. They were like, what's going on? And I said, yeah, I feel really good. And I started looking. I thought, it's got to be this bone broth. So I was making it for them. And then whenever the bone broth settled, a jelly would form on top. And I could tell the jelly wasn't fat because you could tell fat and jelly's different. And then I kept saying to Darcy, what is it? What is it? And she went, let me just take it to the lab in university. And then she came back. She went, it's a protein called collagen.
Wow.
And people think that story is made up.
I can well believe that.
Yeah.
Because it's a chance and an opportunity
Yeah.
where two worlds have
Oh, it's just
collided
amazing.
to produce what they have, really.
Honestly, everything we've done just felt right. You know, even I've just been awarded a doctorate from Bath University in business
Congratulations!
Did I
Well
slip
done.
that in?
Huge.
For my business model. Now, that business model that Absolute Collagen set up was never, let's create a great business model. It was always, let's put the consumer first.
Yeah. There's got to be a purpose.
Purpose.
It's got to have a purpose.
Yeah.
But what you done was turn that in to benefit lots of other
Yeah.
people as well.
Yeah.
What would you say to anybody that has an idea, a great idea, that's sat at home in their kitchen or creative in some way where there's a huge gap in the market that they could fill? What advice would you give to them?
What I would say is nobody believed in me. Well, you wouldn't. I created a formula in my kitchen and launched it into a market that didn't exist. Right? So no one was going to believe in me. I had no business experience. I hadn't worked since I was 25. I didn't know what I was doing, but all I ever did was the next right thing. And it was quite simple when I took that. And I think I get lots of decks sent to me, or if I'm in our board meeting and, you know, we've got an idea and they need proof and, we need this data, we need that data. And I'm Jesus Christ. At the beginning of Absolute Collagen, nobody would have backed us. Nobody would have believed us because there wasn't a market.
Yeah. How can you get data on something that doesn't technically exist?
But what
to
I
review?
will say is if you want it, there's a market. And it doesn't mean there's a market for everyone. It's just for you and the people that fit your market, really.
I always think I think the best businesses are businesses that you create for yourself.
Absolutely.
Selfish.
Yeah,
Do you agree with that,
I
Victoria?
do agree. Yeah.
If you want it and you've
If
made
you know
it,
there's a gap and there's
Yeah.
a need, that's where you can fill
Yep.
that gap for sure.
And, I work with lots of female founders and most of their products or services are born out of a service or a product that's needed. And yes, it is scary. Yes, you have to take risks. There's no doubt about that. And I am a risk taker, but I consider the consequences of the risks. And I think that's what you've got to do. So if you're putting money in, can you afford to lose that money? Because whatever you put in, you are betting on yourself and you don't know. So you have to be prepared. So consider the risks, talk it through with a couple of close people. I talked it through with Darcy and Margaret. They were 16 and 18 and they didn't,
teenage girls,
Yeah.
when they
Trying to sell them
encourage you-
something they
Go
didn't
on,
really
Mum.
need right
Yeah.
now,
Did
but
they-
they believed in you probably.
Yeah.
And
Did
I
they
think
have your
you've got to
back?
sell it.
Well, it's a really interesting dynamic. And Darcy, especially Darcy and I, there's three of us, and we always say, when one of us got strength, we come forward, and when the other one hasn't, we go back. And I don't know if that's like you. I absolutely love it. And we've always been like that. I mean, when I split up their dad, I bought a rat-infested pit as a house. And everybody said, what are you going to do? The girls and I did it together. They'd come home from school, they'd put their hard hats on, and we'd make decisions together. 11 and 13. but I needed
Wow.
them,
Yeah.
right? And so it's always been about the strength of us collectively. So I'm definitely the ideas, visionary, foot to the pedal type of person. Darcy's the one going, shit, what's she doing? Crossing the T's, dotting the I's, doing the
But that's
science.
a good thing
Yeah,
because it challenges in areas where you've just had this tunnel
yeah,
vision and you are going to plow through no
yeah,
matter what. And you need to find that sensible
yeah.
balance to make the right decisions.
And then there was Margot who was filling the gaps. So she was
Mm.
customer service. She was out in the garage fulfilling parcels. It just happened. And we never ever had the conversation about a business. It just happened. And we did not know, we'd never run a business before. And I remember winning the CEW award back in 2019. And, we were turning over probably 10 million then.
Wow. In 2
That's
years.
Yeah.
That is
And everybody was
amazing.
like, oh my God. I was like, what? Oh, we didn't know what good looked like.
Mm.
Oh, and we were one of the first direct to consumer brands. And that was because collagen was new. It was a new category. And
Yeah.
I wanted to educate the consumer. I wanted to educate her, the absoluter. And the only person that could do that at the time really well was me. And so me and Darcy with the science. So it was never going to be in retail. I mean, it is now. We partnered with
Mm.
Boots last year. It's crazy that after 10 years we decided to go in retail. That's
The
kind
whole
of,
category's exploded.
yeah.
But when people have tried it and feel as though it suits their needs, especially in certain age groups, it's just a no-brainer. And it goes back to that investment piece where you want to buy a product that really serves you for whatever you need it for.
Yeah, but I mean, what I will say is supplements are a wild west, and I call it a
Yes.
wild west. And
Yeah.
there was an article in the Times yesterday where they said supplements have become wild west, and they definitely have, and it infuriates me. So, some people say to me, "Oh, yours has got 8 grams. This has got 13 grams," and all I say to them, obviously, I look at what the product is and who it is, and I look at the efficacy and the clinicals behind it. You need 2 drops of fairy liquid. You might need 8 drops of another. I
Mm.
rest my case. So
Yeah.
it's about
The
it
the
is
the
about
the
the
dense, yeah,
power, and
absolutely.
also, there's so much. I mean, supplements are so scary. As in, like, there's so many people not doing it right. It's all about the bottom line. It's cheap ingredients, and you shouldn't be really putting that in your body. So that does worry me.
Mm.
And as the market leader, one of the very first supplements, Darcy and I are starting to work on what we're going to do about the category and how we're going to
Look for regulation.
and make it stand up,
Yeah.
make it so people are safe. I introduce collagen to you, so you take Absolute Collagen. 6 months down the line, you want to take another one. I welcome competition, right? I mean, how many face creams are there, right? It's great. You need
Mm.
competition, but I want you to be safe. And that's where I come
It's the
from.
right competition,
Yeah.
isn't it?
And it's
Yeah.
about being strong. You were just saying how you love running. You've been doing
Yes.
marathons and and it's about being who you are in your body and just being strong and happy.
It's about aging powerfully.
Mm.
It's about stepping in. And whenever I give somebody a yellow sachet, I always feel like I'm giving them their spotlight to see themselves. And they're like, it's not in a, oh my God, here I am. It's in a, oh, I am important. Because for me, I put everybody first. And that's what we do. But
We
there
were
comes a,
taught. We were taught.
yeah, and actually as a mother, I would do it all again. But there comes a time, and Margot will tell you, she remembers this day. She was about 17. We got out of the car, and she jumped out, and I went to put the key. I put the key in the door and went to open the door, and she ran first. And I went, Margot. She said, yeah. And I said, I think it's time I went through the door first. And she stepped back and she went, yeah, you're right. That small act changed so much in her and mine and her relationship.
It's modeling. When you show
Mm.
your daughters or your children how to put yourself first and give
Yes.
yourself respect and
Yeah.
that little hierarchy, they learn to center themselves, I think.
And once you do it, everyone else follows. It's very interesting.
How interesting.
Yeah.
Well, when I Google confidence, I feel your face should pop up.
Oh, bless you.
Could you tell us and our listeners how to start feeling more confident, how to feel like yourself again? Because you said you
Mm,
felt lost and you have
mm,
turned into this powerhouse. How
mm.
can our listeners do that?
So for me, it was literally stripping myself bare. And what I would love to get every woman to do, I used to have a little yellow post-it note on my bathroom mirror saying, "You are enough." And I used to stand there with no makeup on and look at it. And you know that inner monkey that tells you look shit, that tells you you're
Mm.
ugly, that tells you, who do you think you are? I can now laugh at that inner monkey because I still get it. But I go, oh yeah, there you go. Whereas I don't allow it to like put me down anymore. And I can look in the mirror naked with no makeup on and go, got it going on, girl. Because it's not all about looks. It's about your whole persona. It's about the energy you bring. It's about the gifts of energy you bring. It's about how you show up. It's about how you bring people in. It's more than just what you look like.
It
And
all feeds your confidence
oh
when you look at
God,
it that
yeah.
way,
I
doesn't
also
it?
think you look very hot naked as
Yeah.
well, babe. I bet
Wow.
you actually look hot naked as well.
Wow. I don't know about that. Well, I'm going on holiday to Portugal next week, so I'll find out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's lots of areas obviously going to confidence, like the beauty, the supplements, the hair, the fashion. They all blended now in
Yeah.
our female world.
Hair's massive.
And when you say strip back, do you feel as though the focus should be on a single element at a time? Because me, predominantly, it would be hair first and foremost. But now I'm at an age where I am trying and testing all the supplements, Absolute Collagen for sure, and I am seeing the benefits. And then it's like I'm combining them for me to feel
Yeah.
the best
And that's what
and
it's about.
presentable.
And that's what it's about. And, you know, if you're anything like me, you'll do it all at once, which is what I am. I'm
Mm.
all in. I'm in, bang, done, gone. You know, and I wouldn't suggest everyone does that, but I mean, maybe just focus on one point. If it's your hair, you know, there is masses of women having thinning hair at the moment and hair shedding and hair
Yes.
loss. And, you know, when I go back to start of Absolute Collagen, I brought it out as a beauty supplement. And then I said, oh my God, I've been taking it 2 weeks and my hair's shiny. And then somebody on social media said, that's bullshit. That defies science. I went, do you know what? She's right. So I contacted Eva Proudman, trichologist, and I said, can you come and look at this supplement, see what it's doing for hair? And she came and she went, oh my God, she did her own perception trial. She went, yeah, I mean, when you first start taking Absolute Collagen, it increases your sebum level and your hair. Obviously, your scalp has oil too. Sebum is the oil that comes out your skin. And so you're brushing your hair or touching it, and the sebum travels down, makes it sort of shinier. But long term, in her perception trial, and we still work with Eva today, it strengthened and reduced hair shedding. So yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot. I think it's women. I mean, I used to have really, really long, dark, curly hair. You've seen my
Mm.
photograph. And when I went, right, I mean, I stripped the colour out. It went yellow to start with. And I literally had it cut really short. And that was quite dramatic. Do you know what's so funny? Is people think I spent ages on my hair. Honestly, people think this is so easy. I cannot begin to tell you. And I just think, do that one little thing that's going to make you feel good. And if it's your hair, it's your hair, you know, and then maybe do something, you know, with another part of your body.
Yeah, it's just having that preference, isn't it?
Of course.
And going back to confidence, 55% of women in the UK right now have answered surveys because they're concerned with loss of hair or hair shedding. And actually, GLP-1 hair shedding is now one of the most Googled
Yeah.
side effects in the UK. Now, this is all relatively new since you founded Absolute Collagen. How are you speaking to that audience as that supplement brand?
Yeah, so it's interesting. So we'd already, collagen, the ROG collagen supplement is great for hair, skin, nails. But then we speak to our absoluters all the time, and some of them just wanted more skin targeting, some of them wanted hair targeting. So we already introduced for hair a so collagen hair pro. So it's the same 8 grams of clinically trialed marine collagen. It's got keratin and biotin in, and that's so good for hair. And then the Skin Pro is something different. It's got hyaluronic acid and other ingredients for skin. I've been on my own GLP-1 journey, so I've been injecting for just over 2.5 years.
Me too.
Wow.
Yeah.
What? I'm on yes. It's changed my life. It's really helped
Oh
my health.
God, me too. And it's really interesting, isn't it? Because I've always yo-yoed out. Well, I've been up and down scales, 2.5. If you look at my Instagram, 2.5 stone, 2.5 stone, 2.5. And I'm an overeater, or I don't eat. I won't eat all day, and then suddenly I'm a packet of biscuits, then a packet of crisps, and I wake up in the morning, I feel shit, I feel shame. It's like an addiction. It really is. And so anyway, so I went on my own journey, and I didn't tell anybody because I was ashamed. So I kept it quiet for a year. I didn't lie, I just didn't mention it. because there is a shame. Because my friends would say, "Well, just stop eating." I'm like, "I can't,"
It's
People do
easier
not
said than
They
done.
don't.
they
They
don't
do. They are
understand
starting to
disordered
now.
eating. Like, you wouldn't say to an alcoholic, "Oh, just have some water."
Yeah,
Like, put the scotch
Yes.
down. Like,
yeah.
you wouldn't. When it's something where it's like, I always say it's like being a vampire, where you're
Mm.
just thinking of, like, for me, it was sugar.
Yeah,
When's the
mine's
next
definitely
hit of
sugar.
blood? When's the
Yeah,
next hit of blood?
yeah.
And for me,
Changing the way you feel.
yes, the
Mm.
GLP-1 injections just takes that thirst away.
Do you know, it's life-changing for me. All I'd say, I mean, I've like I said, 2.5 years. Today, I've been on the minimum dose the whole time. That's worked for me. All our bodies are chemistry that, we're all different. I've got friends on the highest dose 'cause that's what their body needs. I want to do it really, really slowly. I knew I was older, so I had to be really careful in what I was doing. I love my
Mm.
exercise. Obviously, I work. I need my energy. And I just found like I can honestly say today, for the first time in my life, I have control over the decisions I make around food, and I do make the absolutely informed decisions,
Mm.
and that's pretty brilliant. But I was taking about 17 supplements.
Yeah, I was going to say, as a hair professional, and you're telling me that about your
Yeah.
GLP-1 journey, I'm looking at your hair thinking
How?
its fullness and
Mm.
density is amazing. And then straight away in my mind, I'm automatically thinking, because before that journey started, you were providing what your body needed
I've been
for the
taking,
regrowth.
yeah,
And this is where a lot of people think they're going to start taking some type of supplement and the hair's going to thicken overnight. And it's not, because it
it's
takes a
not, and
long
there's
time to
more, a
grow.
lot more to it. I've been taking Absolute Collagen for 10 years. So yeah, I mean, the GLPs didn't really affect my hair, but I would never know because I've been taking the
Mm.
collagen for so long. But I was taking about 17 supplements, the skin elasticity, I was taking biotin, I was taking it all. And then I know as a supplement person, there's certain supplements that should be taken at night, some in the morning. And also there's a chemistry. So one supplement can be okay on its own, but you mix it with another supplement and a chemistry happens. So I said to the team, help. So they actually produced me a GLP-1 support supplement, Sculpt Pro, that you didn't know about.
Oh, I
Wow.
didn't know
Yeah. So
about.
we do
But it's
Sculpt
great for us
Pro.
to talk to
Yeah.
clients
It's
in our
phenomenal.
industry as well, because it is a temporary
Yeah.
hair loss.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are out there looking for a solution. In some cases, extensions are the
Yeah.
solution, but in some
Absolutely.
cases, they're not, because if you're in active hair loss, extensions will add tension and traction that will accelerate it. So you've got to speak to a professional
Yeah.
that knows, and then know your
And if,
timelines and the
yeah.
cycles of hair
And if you
are
want
really
extensions, you need
important.
to get your hair right in order to
Absolutely.
have them. Yeah.
Exactly. And you need to be honest at the
Yeah.
consultation, because like you said, you didn't tell anybody, but
No,
if
because there
you're
was a
asked,
shame,
yeah.
and I was at the gym actually, and this girl came up to me. She, "Oh my God, you've lost so much weight. You look really good." And I went, "Oh, thanks." I said, I'm GLP. I'm injecting." When we left, my friend said, "What on earth do you admit it for?" I said, "It's the girl code. Like, why the woman code? Why would I not?" And I know I didn't say anything for a year because I was ashamed. Once I'd overcome that shame, I was like, "Do you know what? I have a duty to tell, like." Because otherwise, you look at someone, you go, "Oh my God, look, how have they done that?" And
Mm.
they,
Bless you. I hate it. Do you remember in the
yeah,
90s where models would be like, "Oh, I just eat hamburgers all
yeah,
day"? No, you don't.
My
You go to the
stepsister told me
yeah.
that she used to lick a flip flop and get a stomach bug.
That is
My
wild.
I
God.
know. I mean, I don't know whether she was just joking,
I
but
don't think
that
she
was
was. Back in the day, it was pretty.
Yeah,
lick a
it
flip
was awful.
flop.
It
And
was
now
Yeah,
it's not
pretty
about,
toxic. Do you know what I mean? I remember
yeah.
my friend like saying, "Oh, I wish I could get a tapeworm on holiday when I
yeah,
go to." It was all that
yeah.
nonsense.
I mean, I think what I do love now is the conversations are happening. I don't want the conversations to be happening behind closed doors.
Mm.
When I came out on my GLP, and I really did feel like I was coming out, I knew I was going to come under scrutiny. I knew I was going to get bad mouthed. And the amount of people that messaged me privately as well to say, I've been on GLP-1 and the weight loss injection, and I'm too embarrassed to say, my husband wouldn't, my friends wouldn't. And I'm like, you do you. If your circumstances, something tells you not to say, then do you. But I have a platform, and if I can get the conversation going and we can get some truth, we get the correct science, we get the correct everything, the side effects, and we get solutions for the side effects. So with Sculpt Pro, we absolutely worked with so many of our absolutists that are on GLP. We worked with Dr. Sophie Schotter. We worked with our in-house scientists, nutritionists, a GP. We worked with so many different people to get the right ingredients. And it's got 30 clinically aligned ingredients that it's time dose. You take one in the morning, one in the evening. And everything we do at Absolute Collagen, we don't just put an ingredient in to make a claim, because that's bullshit. Anyone can do that.
Anyone can say anything.
We put the amount you need. In fact, I think it's our vitamin D we've got twice, because your body really struggles to absorb it. And yes, it's got the 8 grams of collagen. It's got everything you need. And I don't know if you notice with hair, but it's not just hair, it's the energy. And they're cold all the time. And, all of this, you need to fix all that. But
sluggishness.
Yeah.
People
yeah,
feel they're dragging themselves
yeah.
around, and it's wanting to be vibrant and feel confident and happy.
I think they start off feeling vibrant and happy because they've lost weight. And I remember that myself. And suddenly I was like, oh my God, and just my skin felt rubbish and cold all the time. And I thought I was eating. But it's just trying to get that balance right. And no, let's not, pretend nutrition should come from food, but the supplements, the correct supplements, when they're done right at the right dose and they've got clinical trials behind them, are there to support the journey you're on.
And that demonstrates even more when they've felt that physical slump taking that medication,
Yeah.
that if they're feeling that physically, then what other impacts across the body
Well, that's
is
it.
that
I mean, your
having?
hair's something you notice. What about things you don't notice?
Exactly.
I was saying to a friend of mine the other day, a couple of months ago, sorry, she does no exercise and she's at the GLP. She lost lots of weight. And I said, but you need to do exercise because your
Yeah.
muscles. And she said,
Heavy weights.
and
would
she
be
said, oh, I
good.
don't care about my muscle. I went, your heart is a muscle. She went, oh my God. Like, yeah, if you need to be strengthening muscles. And I think once I say to people, your heart's a muscle, they go, oh, right, yeah. And it doesn't mean you've got to go to the gym and pump iron, and you just look after yourself. It's actually not rocket science. Go for a walk, move,
Yeah.
Cut toxic people out of your life. I think
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
huge one as well.
You
Be
need the
well.
support when you're challenging yourself in them ways as well,
Yeah.
for sure. But obviously, GLP-1 is only a temporary hair loss, and extensions are bridging the gap. I think with you as a supplement professional, anybody that's experiencing those situations really should find the right professional to go and speak to. And there's a number
100%.
out there
And
now.
it's not with everyone. My hair didn't shed. It was I didn't have any side effects. I was lucky. But like you're saying, go speak to a medical professional.
Yeah.
But there's lots of things you can do to help support yourself.
And there's a process. I mean, it's not going to happen overnight. Whatever you take, whatever solution you find, there's a process where it has to find like the right adjustment for you as well.
Yeah, and there's also a lot of sharks out there, especially when it comes to supplements and hair extensions. You've got to be so careful. I've seen
honestly,
it firsthand.
There's lots of people in our sector now offering extensions purely to the hair loss market, and these are not experienced long term that have
And the hair
that
won't be able to
understand
take it.
It won't.
And it would damage it even further. That's quite scary, isn't it?
Yeah, and even as a brand, whilst we support that as a solution, it's got to be in the right hands, the right professionals for the right clientele at the right time. It is all about that journey and timeline.
I wanted to ask both of you, as
Yes.
business owners, as people who have built really beautiful communities, how important is it for people who use your brands to feel safe, important, and respected?
Oh, I
Is that-
love that. So when I started Absolute Collagen, it was all about the power of Sir. And it wasn't necessarily yes sir, no sir, 3 bags, 4 sir. It was about she needs to feel safe, important, and respected. When I go back to all we ever did was the next right thing. It's actually quite simple business. You've
it
got
is.
just
So
It's common
Sir,
sense.
safe.
important and
But
respected.
I've literally with my little my patriarch. I
Yeah.
was like, "What? Yes, sir, no, sir." I was like, with my
No.
little patriarchal hat
No.
on. The opposite.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that is about the customer. And for
100%.
me in business,
Do you feel
my
the same way?
2 key priorities are product and customer, because everything else should come secondary to those.
Oh,
If
absolutely.
you get them right,
Yeah.
then everything that can follow, those are the lead. Those are the key leads.
So I've got a fantastic CEO. Darcy does all the new product science. She's great. I am Chief Absolute Officer, and I will sit on the phone phoning Absoluters up. And they'll go, oh my God, Maxine phoned me today. And I'm like, yeah, because you are our North Star. You're the reason we exist, right? And you're the one we want to hear from. And I think when you have a direct to consumer brand, you have a community, whether you're direct to consumer or not, you've got to talk to them. It's all about, I think so many people, so many brands get lost in new customer, new customer, new customer. I'm like,
Yeah.
your biggest revenue is actually the existing customer. You know, what happens after last click? What happens after they buy? Do you look after them? Do you reach out to them? And
And
it's
if you
not,
don't, you've got the leaky bucket effect.
yeah, and it's not just about trying to sell them new products. It's just about how you're doing, or telling them something interesting, and they want to hear about you, what you're doing, and you know what you've done the weekend, and that sort of thing.
As a businesswoman, how do you inspire loyalty and repeat purchase with your brand, and how important is innovation?
So that's a really interesting question. So we designed a loyalty program about a year ago, and and we had somebody design it who was very intelligent, very intelligent. And I sat there and I went, "Am I really stupid? But I really don't understand this loyalty program, right?" And they were like, "No, no, no, it's fine." I was like, "Is it? I don't understand it. Guess what? No one understands it. So we're just redoing it because it's so complicated." So for me, I think reward loyalty.
Yeah.
Right? I think that's really important. I'm not over keen on, and we don't do this. Oh, you give us a review and we'll send you a free box, because
Yeah,
that is not.
we don't do that.
That's again, that's just wrong. That's just not efficacy. It's not, genuine. But if and refer a friend, people love refer a friend. So, yeah, it's about loyalty. It's about bringing products that they want out, so listening to them. The new product, the Skin Pro, the Hair Pro, is about sitting down with our customers, and that's how I reward them by, what do you want us to do? What They don't always know what products they want, but they know what their issues are. And we can fix those issues. So by talking, by communicating, you can see a pattern of the issues coming through. And like, oh, how can we fix that? What's going
Issues.
on?
I used to work on counter back in the day,
Yes,
and
you
I
did.
always sold the most because
Yeah.
I wanted to fix people's
Yeah.
problems.
That's
Someone
that's that's all we're all doing.
That's
Yeah.
fix
Yeah.
fix a
Yeah.
problem. I
Yeah.
had a woman come up to me and she said, "I need a mascara." I was like, "Why?" She goes, "Well, I'm breaking up with my boyfriend and I want to look fabulous." I was like, "Sit down, I'll give you a full makeover. Whack top." I said, "You're gonna need
Waterproof
waterproof.
mascara.
You're gonna
Yeah.
need a red lip. You're
Love
gonna need,"
it.
and I ended up selling a full face of makeup, not because I wanted to sell to her, but because I wanted her armed. And I feel
Yeah.
you
You
both do
made
that.
her feel
Yeah.
good.
You
I,
both do
I
that.
think
You
that's what
arm
we
women with
do.
confidence.
Yeah. And like I say, I don't always know what products they want, but you're fixing. And if you can't fix it, I could see something that needs fixing, or an issue. And I'll just say to my team, look, this is an issue. Go, what can we do? And everybody will go away and have a think about it. And we might not fix it straight away, but it's there. And science changes. That
Mm.
it's always developing, isn't it?
Yeah. And we have a loyalty segmentation program,
Well, how does that
and
work?
it works really well. I mean, this is in the pro sector,
Hmm.
but it's based on a number of things, predominantly spend, but it helps us categorize them between
Yeah.
individuals, salon groups, spending needs, and also from a research point, which customer group we would go to for certain things.
Yeah.
So
It's good
it's
data, isn't
great.
it?
Brilliant. I mean,
It's great
data's
data,
everything.
but the kickback and the rewards are so beneficial, and it allows that consistency of that return
Yeah.
and reinvestment into a brand.
Yeah.
If you're offering some type of loyalty scheme, it does really work
It really
well.
does. I mean, look at the Nectar point for Sainsbury's. That works. Marks and Spencer's. Don't get me started on that one. It's so
Li-
complicated.
Literally, I'm
I
all about the
moaned at them.
nectar cards,
I
but the
moaned to
sparks.
Marks and Spencer's again yesterday. Oh, we've just updated our loyalty program. It's still rubbish. Yeah, I just
Oh
want.
my
Yeah,
God, they preach. I
I
thought it was
know.
just me.
No, it really is confusing. And
We
if you're in
love
a
our.
shop with no Wi-Fi and you can't get, oh,
It does my head
yeah.
in. Thank
So
you for
keep it
saying that.
simple.
I thought it was just me.
No,
It's not.
Your
Ye-
hair is very iconic, Maxine. I love it.
thank you.
I
I
do like
think.
it. And I have seen your photo where it was long and dark and curly. Have you ever tried extensions in your life?
Nope, I haven't.
Oh, well, that shut me up then.
Victoria's like, challenge
yeah.
accepted.
Yeah, but okay, how would you get them into short hair?
It's difficult on
Yeah.
really short hair. There's different products that we would use. Maybe it's like a mesh base to then integrate extensions to that. But usually on someone so short, we wouldn't apply extensions, otherwise it would look like a mullet.
Yeah. Mullets are
But
in.
mullets are in.
Unless that's the look you want to
But
go
Yeah,
I
for.
man.
actually think as well that, in all honesty, you look great without them. You don't need them. I think you've got a great density,
I am
great
very
colour, and you
lucky.
wear it well.
Oh, it's just so easy. I think I'm really lucky. I think it was probably one of the most bravest things I did. crazy braid, whatever you want to call it, getting my hair cut off. I actually felt like, who's the saint or whatever that had his hair cut off and he lost all his power? And everybody saying, what are you doing? Because my hair was my crowning glory.
Samson.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. Samson.
Because
Samson
like
Delilah.
Samson.
you can't hide it. Obviously, our bodies, we can
Yeah.
put clothes on and disguise
Yeah.
how we're feeling, but your hair is very much your crown.
I think you've got to be at the right time to have certain hairstyles as well. Like, I wouldn't have wanted to be this exposed 30 years ago. And it is exposed. You know yourself, when you wear your hair back or you hair it down, you can hide behind it. I've got nothing to hide behind. And I don't mind that. I mean,
Yeah, because with my hair, I can wear it half up, half down. I
yeah,
can wear it tied in a
yeah. Mine
ponytail.
looks
I
the
can wear
same
it
the
in a bun.
whole time.
It's like every day. It's like
Yeah.
you get up and
Yeah.
that's your
That's it.
hair.
Yeah, and I've had my beautiful 4C coils, and it was stepping into power. But then also now I have extensions. That's another type of power. I think it's just do you.
I absolutely agree. You do
you.
you, darling.
Do you.
Do whatever floats your boat.
Now, I wanted to ask you if you could go back in time
Mm.
and tell yourself at 40 about what your future would look like
Jesus.
and any advice you would give yourself, what would it be? 40-year-old Maxine, what would you
Wow.
say to her?
Well, do you know what? Not a lot of people know this, but I was suicidal.
No.
And I do believe that's perimenopause.
Thank you for sharing that, because so many of our listeners
Yeah.
will relate to that. And again, it's the shame that you were still talking about. And it's like we need to have these
We do.
conversations. Do not die of shame. So many people die of shame in so many different ways. But what did that look like for you?
I'll tell you how it looked like. And, I say it because I think if you've got something that will benefit people, then you need to share it. So I remember this particular day, it was snowing and I was sat in bed and I had just had the house done up. It was all beautiful, beautiful. I mean, beautiful. My bedroom's beautiful. I had the most beautiful view overlooking Shropshire. It's gorgeous. Snow was coming in. I was lying in bed thinking, I don't want to be here. I was too frightened to put the bin at the top of the drive.
What do you mean frightened? You just didn't
Didn't
want
want
to
to
be
leave
in
the
the
house.
world?
No,
You just
didn't want to be here. Didn't want to be here.
anxiety.
It was the most overwhelming. I just could not see what the purpose was. Why would and I think I've been through so much of the divorce, and I actually think it was perimenopause. It was slightly older than 40, and I walked into the kitchen, and I'd spent a few days googling how to do it.
So you
Yeah.
were it
Yeah,
wasn't
it was
a
serious.
mood. It wasn't a
No,
low mood. You were
no.
like,
Yeah,
I want
yeah.
out.
And I
Wow.
knew if I didn't get the tablets right, I'd be left disabled, and my children have to look after that. And I was like, "Oh, your organs can shut down, or some of them can't." And I was like, "Okay." So I've really thought about it, and I walked into the kitchen, and Darcy had got a lift back from the stable, and she shouldn't have been there. She looked at me, I looked at her. We did not exchange a word. She knew something was wrong, and in that moment, I thought, "Can't do it. Don't do it."
Wow.
Yeah.
She saved you.
Yeah,
being
she
a-
did. And I do say, I tell that story because I know other women go through it, and I cannot tell you what it was. I just felt overwhelmed with life. I felt, I don't know what it was. And so I'd go back to that 40-year-old. But what I would say to her, this is quite tough, is you're exactly where you're supposed to be, because the lessons you are learning will take you forward. And that's tough. But just hang on in there. It will be okay. I remember my first stage as a woman, as a girl, as 7 years old, thinking my first stage in life was thinking, oh, I'm a girl, I want to be a boy. Boys have a better life. And then there's so many stages. What I will say now is I'm post-menopause. I've got 30 years of whatever of life with no stages left. Hallelujah. Bring it on.
You get to be you.
Yes.
And all the hats, whatever hats you want to
Yeah,
wear, which
yeah.
is so exciting. And
Yeah.
it's about being in your power.
Yeah.
And do you think you've been able to flip your pre-Absolute Collagen life into being the new version of Maxine in some way? Or you've used that to guide you to
I
choices?
think I've always been me. And what I will say, yes, right? Because when everybody wanted to go right, I was the one that wanted to go left. Always. Always. And I didn't have the confidence to go left
Yeah.
when everyone went right. And it wasn't until I started Absolute Collagen, that idea, and I thought, no, I'm bloody going to go left because that's what I think's right. That's right for me. But it was
Yes.
having the courage to go, I followed everyone else for years and it hasn't worked. I'm going to go left. Yeah.
And hopefully there's somebody listening to this that maybe is feeling that way, that can then take that to guide them, that there could be something so good and positive about to happen in their lives.
Yeah.
Hold on.
And
Reach out.
And it might be just one little tiny thing. Absolute Collagen didn't become a £30 million business overnight. A lot of people don't want that, It might just be you want to take the bin out in the snow to the top of the drive and feel okay doing that. And that's where it might start.
Yeah, and a lot of people would look at the brand and yourself and see the success on the surface, but not know the challenges that you've faced personally. And people do think a lot of businesses are overnight successes. And there's not. There's a lot of sacrifice
Hell
that
of a lot
goes
of
in.
sacrifice.
Yeah,
And I was working like
absolutely,
80 hours a day. And, the business launched in 2017, but it was set up before that. And I was doing all the research and the science behind it. There was a lot going on that we don't talk about.
It
There was 2
consumes you.
years. Yeah.
It consumes you. And
That's a
how we don't
choice.
age
That is a
overnight.
choice.
It's a choice.
Yeah.
But I think we've been in the same circumstance where those choices, it's for a better goal. And we put ourselves through it because as creatives and founders and entrepreneurs, it's just something that is embedded in us.
It
We're
is.
either going to throw in the towel or we're not. And I don't do quitting.
No, me
Like
neither.
I'm in it for the.
I sometimes should
commendable.
do quitting.
Yeah.
But also, if anyone's out there thinking, oh my God, it's so, if I looked at where I am today and my business today, I'd have been terrified. I can't do that. I can't do that. We all start with one sell, one ping on Shopify. And I always say that because people can idolize, they can look up and go, oh my God, I have grown with the business.
Yes,
It
that's
wasn't
the
a
same
£30
for
million
me.
business on day one. And I think you have to give yourself a little bit of leeway on that. Don't look at the bigger picture. Just take the little step and then the next little step and then the next little step. And that's what we've done, really.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
You are both formidable businesswomen, powerhouses.
Yay!
Thank you so much. That was so
Aw,
wonderful and
thank
so
you.
inspiring.
Thank you.
And anyone who is finding themselves in a hard place, we will put some advice and some websites that you can reach out for help. But Maxine, thank you for being so generous in so many ways and making us all glow from the inside out.
For
Thank you.
sure. Thank you, Maxine. It's been a
Aw,
pleasure.
And thank you guys for having me. It's been a pleasure too.
If you enjoyed that episode, you can like and subscribe. And if you'd like to hear more about hair or collagen and how they can benefit you, follow Remy Cachet and Absolute Collagen. And thank you once again to Maxine Laceby.
Thank you for having me, guys. It's been a pleasure.